Allow me foremost to appreciate the USAID team, my brother Kimiti and Roger, the whole team, various stakeholders here present, delegates in the room and online. I want to appreciate the USAID for the collaboration they've had with the government of Kenya, working towards our shared prosperity. Shared prosperity sometimes is just cliche, looking good on papers and policy. But for the USAID, I think this, especially through the Kenya investment mechanism, has been demonstrated truly. I saw that the whole of this learning session or conference is anchored on two major things: access and impact. Shared prosperity. Access to markets. Shared prosperity. Access to technology and innovation. Shared prosperity. But most importantly, access to finances and affordable credit. Shared prosperity. The USAID has been part of our journey as a nation since 1963. They have sought shared prosperity in issues of defense, in issues of democratic governance, in environmental issues, in economic, socio-economic issues. This afternoon, I am here to celebrate those of you who have been beneficiaries of this, of the Kenya investment mechanism. I am here to congratulate USAID for being a great catalyst for attracting investment, for attracting funding to support our multi-sectoral investors. Anyone who knows me knows that my heart breathes the micro, small, and medium enterprises. I appreciate the large corporates, and I wish you well, and we are working towards ensuring that you grow even larger. But I am a champion of moving the nano entrepreneur to the micro space and pushing the micro entrepreneur to the small space and the small into medium, and eventually the medium into the large corporate. I know I have a great speech written for me, but there are moments like this when I think, as is custom with me, I forfeit the speech so that I speak from the heart based on what I am seeing, what I am witnessing. I appreciate the successes that this program has achieved. That out of the commitment of $35 million, you've been able to spark $485 million into the economy, assisting, alleviating, supporting, anchoring businesses in this country. A couple of weeks back, I visited Belgium, and I met the CEO of the BioInvest, which is the Belgian Development Corporation, investment corporation that funds businesses or attempts to create impact in African countries. And I asked him, sir, how much have you considered the Kenyan market? So first, have we considered the Kenyan market? He said, yeah, we have given resources to Kenyan commercial banks to be able to support SMEs, especially to be able to impact on women. And I asked, okay, what's the interest rate He says, well, we lend to them at about 3 or 4%. I said, okay. Then I asked the big question, have you been keen to follow through to ensure that your intended impact is met, your objective for impact is met in Kenya, and that the commercial banks further lend that money onwards to our micro, small, and medium enterprises for just about the same amount, or if they're to charge administrative costs, then receive it for 4% and lend it onwards at no more than 7%. And I did not receive any response. Because the custom has been, and I'm sorry to commercial banks, I say this at the risk of being hanged, I think it is noble that when we receive funding to support businesses given to us at those decent rates, our onward lending should also demonstrate a desire for impact. And this is why this particular program quite excites me. I was having discussions with Kimethi, and he says, some of our venture capitalists and, our funders just want impact. And once you show impact, they're not big about profit. So 8%, 5%, 6%. I am really hoping that all our funders coming into the country for impact really come to support our businesses to grow. Then we will comfortably and confidently speak shared prosperity. Then we will have employed many more Kenyans and our women will be dignified. Then our manufacturing sector will bulge. Our agri-sector will grow. Africa accounts for upwards of 40% of the world's arable land. And to focus on agriculture is inspiring for me. It is important as Kenya makes its contribution to the African dream of reviving and finding its capability within the agri-space and feeding the world. I know that we are having wonderful conversations and negotiations, my ministry, with the United States. Our trade negotiations are ongoing. And each time we have those conversations, it demonstrates the mutuality that we have towards our shared prosperity, even when we are trying to ensure that our interests are best catered for. I have sat through the session. And as I walked in, I listened as we spoke about transforming financial markets for shared prosperity. And later on, I heard questions asked about whether Kenya has created an environment in which businesses can thrive, especially in financial innovation. And was she Kwamboka, the host? You asked that, but what people don't know is that in the World Bank Ease of Doing Business Index, Kenya is the third in Africa, only after Mauritius and Rwanda. I was waiting for a clap from the questionnaire. Moving from 118 in 2013 when President Kenyatta became president, we are 56th globally. Mauritius 13th and Rwanda 38th. We are the country you come to when you want to prosper. As we say, for you to do business in the world, Africa is a must, but Kenya is almost a requirement. I am very grateful for the opportunity that our businesses and our delegates here present and the businesses that you targeted in the agri-space have gotten to have a front row seat in acquiring business advisory services. And I appreciate the providers of those consulting services. For those of us who are Christians, we subscribe to the Bible as the ultimate doctrine. That Bible I believe in says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. The quality consulting services have been a gap for our business people to get to understand what is here for you. How do you take advantage? How do you maximize on your potential as a business to grow, to thrive? How do you expand beyond your location so that if you set up a business in Kitale, you don't think of yourself as being able to only tap into the Kitale market and its environs, but understand that your location is just a place from which you access the entire world. The Ministry of Industrialization, Trade and Enterprise Development, because here we have various business people who don't understand sometimes, and I know that we continuously work to inform. We, for example, have the Kenya Industrial Estates to give business people dignified working spaces connected to electricity and water at affordable rates, so that if you have a little bit of capital to start your business, you don't start thinking of how you are going to build your factory. You have a place to start from which you can launch and grow. A lot of business persons, even in the agri space, do not understand that we have the Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency, which is mandated to inform you about opportunities for export for whatever product you're doing. Not so long ago, while visiting Portugal, I told Kenyans that I bought a pineapple for 20 euros, which is 2,500 shillings. And it was a very painful thing. But then beyond that, I went to have conversations about the possibility of accessing that market. And I said, wow, there's so much to do. America has been a great partner under the AGOA framework for Kenya. The opportunities for business between our two countries and between the African continent and the United States is massive. Now, as the East African quote-unquote nation that we are, with a population almost the size of the United States, I look forward to us exploring opportunities that will give vantage to our business people, even as we take care of the interests of the American people. Then we will be speaking shared prosperity. Shared prosperity is not shared until it benefits both sides almost equally. And yet, my Bible still, sorry for those who may not be Christian, and I respect all faiths, said, to whom much is given, much is expected. And so to America, that much is given, much is expected in our journey towards shared prosperity. I am elated at your journey towards unlocking capital for our women entrepreneurs. I am excited about financial development, innovation, and uptake by our businesses, because until and unless our businesses in country appreciate the place of innovation, then we will be doing the same things, the same ways, and expecting different results. And thank you for demonstrating that the expectation of you has not failed. We are grateful. Ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon, I hope that the learnings we get from this place will not be in vain. That we will sit and go through what our real experiences are. What we say here in Kenya, kwa ground, kuko aje. And when we get the experiences from the ground, they will inform how this program moves forward to edify the lives of very many Kenyans, to add value to those who are working towards our prosperity, which is USAID, and to ensure that indeed access and impact is not just words we read, but words we relate with, words we know, words we feel. The impact will then be written on all these faces, and I know the next year, as we head towards powering an approximate 520 million US dollars. I will be back on this platform, inshallah, to celebrate the great success of Kenyan businesses. Back to my Bible. The Bible has 8 beatitudes. I will add the 9th. I pray that Allah will forgive me. The 9th says, blessed is the speaker who speaketh short, for he shall be invited to speak again. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I now officially declare this learning session open. Thank you.